Yo, what up? It's Devin. Since Boxing. Back in the building. Good to see you guys. Excuse me, man. Just had myself some homemade peanut butter cookies, man. So forgive me. But look, it's time to cook, man. Get comfortable. If y'all at work, man, I appreciate you guys taking the time to sneak on in. Hopefully you guys are getting your notifications. I've been having conversations with YouTube. Seems like, there's certain channels out here. We talk behind the scenes that, the notifications are not being pushed out. So if you're getting them, that's good. Get the likes all the way up, man, because we have a topic at hand that is very important. Very, very important, man. And I know several channels have already cooked on it. I was just hanging out with Drew Titan. He was just live talking about this very topic. You guys see the title of the live stream. Bill Haney has been denied access to enter Australia to continue training his son, Devin Haney, for the fight that is actually only a few weeks away for undisputed lightweight champion of the world. And this is what I usually do, man. I usually take my time. I let people cook on it. I let people speak on it. And then I start to develop my opinion and I start to wrap my head around it. And I start to think, what is really going on? Like, why did these things happen? It goes all the way back to when I first created this channel. And there was a lot of talk and suspicion about Wilder Fury 2. And when people were going back and forth saying certain things, I said, you know what, man, we're just going to do a full-on film study and break it down round by round. And that's what we're going to do, like I always do. Stacy Rubin, man, what's good, man? Kicking off those super chats today. I appreciate you immensely, as always. And by the way, if you guys haven't seen my prediction video of David Benavidez versus David Lemieux, which is happening, is it I guess it's Friday morning for you guys. My bad, man. The damn time zone trips me out. But anyways, Saturday night, man, David Benavidez and David Lemieux. If y'all haven't checked out my prediction video, it's on my channel right now. So when you get on watching this live, go back to the channel, watch that prediction video, hit that like button for me. And it's going to be a prediction that is probably a little bit out of the ordinary, definitely going against the grain a little bit. So make sure y'all stop by there, man. Omega Red in the building. Appreciate you. Look, guys, if you guys were on my live stream a couple of nights ago, as a matter of fact, I believe it was the last fight live stream that I did. I talked about Devin Haney. As you know, actually, you know what it was? It was Speak on It. It was Speak on It, Volume 2. And we talked about a lot of different fights. We talked about a lot of different fighters. We had uh, 3 or 4 other people on the panel. And a part of that conversation was Devin Haney and George Kambsos. And in the live chat, we had people going for both fighters, right? My number one objective when I come on here, I get my mic, I get my camera, and I set everything up. My number one goal, my number one objective is to be objective about the sport of boxing. I despise having to get into these type of conversations. I stay out of those conversations for the most part, but there are times where I got to make my voice heard. And this is one of those times. One of the key things that I mentioned in that live stream, if y'all were a part of it, was Devin Haney is going up against a lot, right? This is not a black and white situation. And I'm not talking about race. I'm just talking about the color and the simplicity of boxing, right? This is not a situation where these guys are going to be on a completely even playing field and they're going to go in the ring and figure out who's the best. This is not the situation that is unfolding currently. We were already suspicious at the fact that not only will the fight be in Australia for the first fight, which a lot of us were willing to accept. Maybe we didn't like it, but we said, it don't matter, man. Devin Haney's going to put in work, right? Those who are going for Devin Haney, that was more or less the mindset. But then it came out later that there's a rematch clause, and the rematch itself is also going to be in Australia, win, lose, or draw. Even if Kambsos gets knocked out, the rematch stays in Australia, right? And I don't even have to discuss or talk about the simple fact that George Kambsos didn't want the Devin Haney fight. Now, you can cut it and slice it any way you want to slice it or cut it and deliver it any way you want to deliver it. He didn't. He wanted Lomachenko. Period. And I'm not going to even get into that right now. That's a sidebar conversation. That's a horse, a dead horse that has been beaten multiple times. I'll put that to the side. So let's talk about what's really relevant. What is relevant right now is these things keep piling up against Devin Haney. I just said in that live on Speak On It, Volume 2, I said that Devin Haney needs to get to Australia ASAP. He needs to get acclimated and adjusted to the weather, right? To his surroundings, get his diet back on point, get his training underway, right? Get his biological clock back in line to where it needs to be. This is not a fight in the UK. It's not a fight in Mexico. It's not a fight in Canada. He's taken an 18-hour flight to Melbourne, Australia. And that comes from a man who has traveled thousands of miles around the world. I know more than my fair share when it comes to traveling on aircrafts and going across different hemispheres. So there's that, right? And lo and behold, as I'm skimming through Instagram, I see this news. Oh, Devin Haney, he's in Australia. This was like yesterday for me. And I was like, oh, damn, okay. I was just literally talking about it, and now he's there. Good, right? Now he is there in plenty of time to get adjusted, continuous training. And I felt excited as a boxing fan, right? And the only thing that I want, as I said, is to come on here and speak as objectively as I possibly can about the sport, regardless of who I'm going for in the fight. I want to give both fighters their fair share of recognition, because at the end of the day, they're the ones who step through those ropes, sacrifice everything, and quite frankly, put their life on the line. And sometimes Us as boxing fans, we're critical. We pick apart certain things that fighters do and say. And I do it sometimes as well. I try to refrain from it, but it happens. But when the dust settles and the truth is really revealed, and sometimes when we take a deep breath and you realize that these men or women who step through those ropes, win, lose, or draw, they are a different breed of people, right? They are doing something that the average person will never attempt to do. So I try to come on here and give everyone a fair shake. And then you have situations like this that makes it difficult for me to do that. G5 was good, bro. Not Zay was good, man. Teach in the building. So you make it difficult for me when these type of things happen. And I learned in boxing over many years, you can't get too high and you can't get too low. You got to learn how to just ride the wave, right? Because if not, you're going to get swept away by the waves and get drowned when it comes to boxing. And a perfect example of that is, oh shit, Devin Haney's in Australia. Cool, man. He can continue his training. I can make my prediction video, which I still haven't done yet. And you know why? I got about 6 or 7 messages on Instagram. Yo, Devin, man, where's your official prediction video of Kambsos Haney? We want to hear your thoughts, man. Let us know. You know why I haven't done it yet? Because of this shit right here. How can I give an honest and objective prediction of a fight when you have this type of shit going on, man? I've already struggled trying to figure out and wrap my head around the idea that Devin Haney's going across the world to fight the man, and not only fight the man in the first fight, but he's got to be there for the rematch as well. I also got to digest the fact that Kambsos didn't want Devin Haney. And then when he had no choice to take him, he was extremely disrespectful. And although it's the fight game, right? You don't got to be best friends. You don't got to shake hands. But things just continue to pile up and add on. And I honestly didn't think that it can get any worse. Other than, fight night, where you need to be a bit careful, right? You're in a hostile environment. You want to make sure that everything's legit. The gloves are legit. Everything is legit, right? No BS, no shenanigans. But I honestly didn't think that it can get any worse. And then, of course, I come across Champ Side's post. And to be honest with you, I probably, admittedly so, follow Champ Side on Instagram more than I do on YouTube. He's like my source for a lot of different news. I probably am up to date on his Instagram more than I am in his YouTube channel. But I see his post, and he announces it about how Bill Haney was denied access into Australia. Andrew Gray in the building. PGH Big Dog in the building. My man Black Superman in the building was good. And I thought, well, okay, this is strange. What, did something happen? Right? Because I'm an optimistic person. I don't like to jump to conclusions. Right? I'm very optimistic. I'm like, I'm positive. I'm a positive person. I don't look at the negative side of things. I always try to find the positive. I always try to find the truth, right? So I'm like, oh, did something happen? Like, is he okay? And I'm reading through the headline, and they say that he was denied because of a prior conviction that he had back in the 90s that he had already served time for. And my jaw just dropped, man. Because I couldn't fathom. I couldn't digest it. My mind wouldn't work fast enough to really understand, like, wait, what happened? Wait. This is like one of the biggest fights of the year. And not only Devin Haney, the guy who's going to be fighting, by the way, in your country, Not only is it his father, but his head trainer is not allowed to enter your country for a prior conviction that he had 25 years ago. Like, wait, what's going on here? Raw Dog the Prophet was good. Johnny Q was good. So it's like, whoa. So what's I can't even fathom what Bill Haney's going through right now. A man who brought his son to stardom, a strong, positive, influential father figure in Devin Haney's life, who has provided everything for his son to be successful, which not every father has that ability or those accolades, right? Some try their best, some succeed, and some don't do shit. Right? So I can't even imagine what he's going through right now. Devin's got a fight to focus on. He can't get distracted by this, even though it is a distraction, a clear one. But I can't imagine as a father what Bill Haney must be going through right now. Probably trying to figure out a way to get in. Right? But with that to the side, I start thinking about the fight now. I'm like, okay, so the man arrives in Australia and he don't got his dad / head trainer with him. What's really going on here? What's really going on here? Y'all let me know in the chat, like, what's really going on here? Now, I understand that Zab Judah's father is going to take over the training. And I guess if you want to look at the positive side of things, I guess it could be worse than he had no damn trainer at all. All he had was his cut man or some shit, right? At least he's got some other friends and family there that has his back. People, for those who are wondering, what's the big deal? Right? Because there's always these people out there. Right? Oh, don't cry about it. Don't be a crybaby about it. It's not a big deal. Devin's a big boy. He can take care of himself. Yeah, you would say that. A man or a woman, whoever the hell you are, who's already not supporting Devin Haney, never have, and probably never will. It's easy for you to say that. But what if it was your boy, Georgie? Yeah. What if it was Georgie coming to America and his wife couldn't get in, or his dad couldn't get in, or even better than that, his own trainer couldn't come into the country? And of course, I find it ironic, right? A country birthed off of or from criminals, criminal-minded people created that country. And I don't know if you guys know this, right? But I know a lot of Aussies personally. Personally. I meet them every day in my line of work. The shit that I hear about Australia is mind-blowing. The things that they had going on over there as far as restrictions during the pandemic, y'all have no idea. Y'all thought America was bad? Y'all thought New York was bad? Y'all thought LA was bad? You have no idea what those people had to deal with out there from their government. From their government. You would think a country that was created via criminals, that they would be, you know, free and open-minded people, right? Come as you go. I know Aussies hate to hear this, but you're still technically under the crown of England, Great Britain. Y'all have no idea, man. I hear stuff all the time, and a man not able to enter a country because of a prior conviction that was 25 plus years ago to come and train his son in the biggest moment of his life. That's a travesty, an absolute travesty. So it is either one or two things, or probably, or maybe both. One, a complete failure of the Australian immigration slash government who implements these types of restrictions that obviously have no clear guidelines, and it's been a complete failure. Or this was all planned. They knew that this was on Bill Haney's record, and they knew that they can use that to keep him from coming into the country. They couldn't touch Devin, but they go after his dad. So it's either one or the other or both. Right? And I'll let y'all decide on which one you think it is. But I tell you this right now, man. Australia, over the past 2 or 3 years, as far as immigration is concerned, about the restrictions that they have implemented on their own citizens during the pandemic, they're probably one of the top countries in the world who have kicked people out of their country or refused people to enter their country for one reason or the other. If you're not fully vaccinated, you can't enter Australia. It doesn't matter if you got a health condition, if it's against your religion, or you simply don't want to get it because maybe you had COVID, maybe you got antibodies and you don't want to get the vaccine. It doesn't matter. They did not allow thousands of people, hundreds of thousands, I don't even know the number, but y'all can look it up, and an immense amount of people from entering the country. And I frame this because this is literally pre-planned, man. I want y'all to wrap your head around this shit real quick. Pink Meadows, what's good? Devin Blocker in the building, what's good? Boxing matchups, Dwayne Freeman, what's good, bro? I want y'all to wrap your head around this for a moment. When Devin Haney and George Kambsos finally got the contract signed, we were still technically, well, maybe not in America. America may have been coming out of the pandemic, but Australia was still full-blown in the pandemic at that time. In 2021, before we rolled the clock over to 2022, they were still full-blown restriction mode, work from home, checking in on an app. Anytime you go somewhere, you got to let the government know what you're doing, where you're at, what time you're going to sleep. I am not kidding you. These are all facts, I'm telling you. Look it up. So they make this fight during a pandemic that is still currently going on in Australia, where they have some of the most strictest guidelines and restrictions in the world. Never thought for a moment, we don't know when this pandemic is going to be done. We got protests in the streets that people are tired of the restrictions. Let's go ahead and make a fight and sign the contract to come fight in Melbourne, Australia. How about that? We don't know what's going to happen. The uncertainty is convenient, right? It's inconvenient for everybody else, but for this particular situation, it is convenient to sign this fight during an ongoing pandemic in Australia with, like I said, the most strictest policies and regulations and restrictions in the world. So you guys know how I do when I come on here, man. You guys listen to Blue, you listen to Champside, you listen to Drew and BFTB, my man Stormy in the building, whoever it is, right? We all have different perspectives, and that's why you sub to these channels. But this is that perspective that I'm going to give you, man, because this is what I do. This is my life. I pay attention to the world. I know people. I'm connected with people all around the world. I got a particular type of insight. I'm telling you guys, man. And I'm an optimistic person. I don't like to dwell on the dark side, the negativity, right? It weighs me down. It turns me into somebody or something that I don't want to be. I focus on the positive things, right? When this fight was first announced and they said, oh, it's going to be in Australia, I clenched my fist, right? I grinded my teeth a little bit. I'm like, damn, like, I don't know how I feel about this because I know what's going on in Australia. But I kept it to myself and I said, no, you know what, man? I'm going to be optimistic. They're going to get through the pandemic. It'll be fine. But because the guidelines in regards to the pandemic have been mostly lifted in Australia, they found another loophole, didn't they? But the reason why I segue from that to let you guys know is because this is how they operate out there. This was all pre-planned. You think for a moment that the promotional side, the management side of George Kambsos didn't think about this? God forbid Devin came into Australia and tested positive for COVID. This fight would be off. It would be done, right? So you roll the dice. But the odds are in your favor if you're George Kambsos and his team, right? Because if you stop Bill Haney from coming into the country, right, you're going to win regardless. Either Bill can't come in and Devin ain't got his dad/head trainer. Or Devin says, nah, I can't continue like this without having my dad in my corner. So the fight is off. George paints Devin as a ducker. George said, oh, he's making excuses. And they go on and they move on. They go try to fight somebody else. So shout out to Devin Haney. Respect to Devin Haney. And you damn right, I'm going to fly 18 hours over here. And you thought that this was going to work? Nah, I'm here to fight. I ain't going nowhere. I'll do Rocky Balboa in the damn mountains and snow by myself if I have to. It don't matter to me. I come too far. So there's only two things that are two routes that Devin Haney can take now. One, this situation, amongst all the other situations and hoops that he has had to jump through to get this fight, this is the icing on the cake that you try to keep my father/head trainer out of the country to be able to continue my training for the biggest fight of my life. All right, bet. This is a motivation for me. This puts fuel in the fire, right? I was ready to come and dominate, but now I'm ready for blood. Or it gets into his head and he folds and he allows it to affect him. Because this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? We don't know what's going to happen with Bill. I don't even know where he's at. If he's being held somewhere in the airport, they're holding him somewhere in immigration somewhere, or he's already flying back to the States. I don't know what the hell's going on, man. I can't imagine, though, flying 18 hours and then you got to turn around and come back to the States. I'll be damned. But we don't know what's going to happen from now until when the fight happens. But Devin Haney is walking into, well, I mean, he's literally stepping out of the trench and has got to run a mile across no man's land to get to the other side, avoiding landmines and shells coming from the other side and machine gun fire. That's what Devin Haney's doing right now. Oh, George Kambsos is chilling. George Kambsos is chilling right now. Yup. Got his gym, got his family, got his food, got his trainer. I'm chilling right now. Right? So y'all got to keep this in mind, right? If you're going to make fight predictions and bet on this fight and put money on this fight, because I know some of y'all do bet. Oh, I am true, Maine. So he didn't fly at all? So he didn't fly? They denied before they got on the plane. All right, got you. Well, that's a little bit of good news. So that means that either his visa got denied when he applied for it to go into Australia, because actually, I take that back. I don't know if things have changed because of the pandemic, but you used to be able to fly to Australia as an American citizen with a visa on arrival. You didn't have to apply for a visa. You arrived and you got 60 days or whatever the hell it is. Right? You just needed a return trip ticket back to the States, which obviously he would have. So either they changed the rules because of the pandemic and he applied for a visa, he got denied, so he couldn't board the plane, or when he tried to leave the U.S., U.S. immigration was notified of his prior conviction, and they told him that, oh, sorry, Australia doesn't allow, prior convicts or whatever to fly into their country. So Devin had to board the plane by himself. So I don't even know what would be going on in Bill's head right now. I would imagine he's probably in worse shape than what Devin is, right? And I try to boost my confidence because I know Bill raised Devin right. I know that Bill has prepared him for this situation. He's been doing it his entire life. And that does give me confidence because I know that Bill's a great father and he has built a great young man from his own image. And I believe that Devin has been prepared for this and he will be ready. Demon Kennedy was good. A1 Hoop Zone was good. As long as you don't come in here and talk about basketball, A1, we good, bro. So, look, I see some people in the chat, verifying and confirming and saying whatever about the details, but I got the article right here, right? So how about that? I probably should have pulled this up earlier. So let me pull it up and, we can all browse through it together and figure out what the deal is. Wow. Everything just froze. All right, we back, man. YouTube be back at it again, man. I'm telling you. All right, I think we back now, man. I apologize for that. I don't know what the hell's going on. It happens almost every single time, man. I talk about these type of topics, bro. Almost every single time. I'm not even kidding. All right, man. Let me bring up this damn article. Uh, man, I'm trying not to get lit right now. All right, y'all can see that up on the screen. This is straight up from Boxing Scene. And, we'll go ahead and read through the article together and see what the details are, man. So we can all verify what exactly happened and, why he wasn't allowed on the plane. Where is he, et cetera, et cetera. Let's see what's in this article right quick. All right. According to Boxing Scene, man, to Bill Haney not yet permitted to travel to Australia. They put yet in parentheses, so that makes me think that maybe he can get approved to come in. Yoel Judah to lead Devin Haney's corner for the Kambsos fight. So that's part of the article right there. Then it goes on to say Devin Haney hits the road for the biggest fight of his young career without his primary team in tow. Travel plans for the WBC lightweight titleist will not include the company of his father and head trainer, Bill Haney, who was not permitted to go through customs for their trip to Australia. The elder Haney was denied entry due to a prior conviction holding up his visa application, forcing Devin Haney to literally fly solo en route to Melbourne ahead of his June 5th undisputed lightweight championship clash against George Kambsos. He says, I'm, quote, I'm still at home in Vegas. I wasn't able to board the flight to go over to Australia, Bill Haney confirmed during an appearance on Trill Boxing Talk, a YouTube-based show on which he is a regular guest. They said my visa hasn't been approved. It hasn't been denied, and at this point in time, I wasn't able to go through customs. I do want the world to know. As a dad, I've prepared Devin for this moment and doing what he does best, showing up and showing out. I've been preparing him from the day he will no longer have me. I don't have my dad. I lost him at the same age Devin is now. It was devastating to lose him. He raised a solid one. I can only hope that all the talks me and Devin has had, that he's able to remember and to be the man that I know that he is. All right. So that's from Boxing Scene. So I guess I was right. It did come down to a visa application. The visa application wasn't accepted, but I guess it wasn't denied either. But nonetheless, because it wasn't accepted, he wasn't able to board the plane. So that's what it is. So I'm assuming that he, is back trying to figure out a way to get back into Australia, try to clear this visa situation. But nonetheless, man, it's aggravating. You know what I mean? It's very aggravating that this has had to happen. And like I said, man, with all the other stuff that has happened leading up to this fight, anybody with any type of intelligence, it's going to make you wonder. You know what I mean? It's got to make you wonder. Is it coincidence? Maybe. Maybe it's just bad luck. Maybe it's just one of those things, man. Couldn't plan for it, just happened. Right? Whatever the case is, bro. But I feel a little bit different about it. I feel like, see, I'm all about trends, right? That's how I operate. That's how I understand things. So one thing happens to me. I say, oh shit, that's bad. That happened, but I can get through that. Then something else happens after that. And then that trend continues. Right? And then I start to take notice. And then I start to say, you know what, man? Something ain't right. Something ain't right here. And that's just me. Right? And it can be the most simplest thing. It can be the most simplest thing in life, right? Where I could be dating a chick, for example. Date goes good, and then one day we have a date and she says something dumb. I'm like, damn, that was really dumb. But you know what? Maybe she had a bad day. I'll let that slide because she's cute. It's all good. A week later, I find out that, she could be possibly trying to text one of my homeboys. Confront her about it. She denies it. All right. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Right. And then, something else happens. But I tell you what, though, when it gets to the point where I'm like, you know what? She's trifling. So I'm not going to wait for a situation where I walk in on her doing some shit. So I'm out. Now, I see a trend with this Devin Haney and George Kambsos situation as well, man. First, he didn't want the fight. Then he was forced to the fight. And then they had the press conference. And that was very cringeworthy, in my opinion. The things that Kambsos was saying, his demeanor, it was just awkward, like the disrespect, right? This is not Teofimo Lopez, right? Teofimo Lopez came out of the gate disrespecting you. And you had to make it known that, I'm coming over here. I ain't no slouch. and I'm going to beat you, right? We all gave you credit for that. We all said, yeah, talk shit back to Teofimo Lopez because Teofimo Lopez is on that shit constantly talking shit to everybody. But Devin Haney has really done nothing but try to get the fight signed and try to make the fight happen. And you want to come sideways, calling him a kid and just basically shrugging your shoulders and like, hey, if that's what hypes you up to get ready for this fight, then I guess it is what it is. So you have that. Then they put the rematch in Australia, which is really strange, for a lack of better words, right? Because traditionally speaking, right, you go to someone else's backyard. I mean, we're not just talking about backyard, right? You're literally going to a whole nother country. And you beat that man in his own country. You got the belts now. You the champ. You're the undisputed champ now, right? There's no denying it. That's why we have the word undisputed. So now you make the calls. Now you can say where you fight. Oh, but no. This is the contract, Devin. You want this fight? You want to go for undisputed? You want to try to make a legacy with your name? You want to be put in the history books? Well, this is the contract right here. This is what you got to agree to. That even though you beat me here, you got to fight me again here. Yo, that shit's crazy. That shit is crazy. Tell me that makes sense. I want somebody to explain that to me. I really, really do. I want somebody to explain to me that having the rematch after you lose is back in Australia again for a second time. Make it make sense, please. Right? Because that doesn't make any sense to me. That to me is suspect. I don't need to be a Devin Haney fan to see that shit. And quite frankly, if you are a Kambsos fan, you shouldn't agree or like that either if you're a true boxing fan. Right? So I know what the question is, man. I know how it goes. I know what the question is. You're going to say, all right, Devon, well, what if the tables were turned? And what if Devin had the belts and Devin made Kambsos go to America for the first fight and then put in the contract that he's got to have the rematch in America? What would you say then? Simple. Kambsos has been fighting in America, bro. He's been fighting in America. He won the straps in America. He is proven to win a decision as an underdog in America. So it shouldn't matter if the money's right. It shouldn't matter. You've already got the nod from the judges. And even though you performed well against Teofimo Lopez, it's not like you completely blanked the dude out. Like Teofimo still ended up touching you up, and you had to dig deep to finish that fight, bro. But you got the nod. That's the point. You got the decision. Devin Haney never fought in Australia before, bro. He's never been in that situation. He never had to go and fight in someone else's backyard for all these straps. When Australia's history is riddled with controversial decisions from, or towards or against fighters who are not from their country. They also have a long history of not allowing athletes to enter their country, putting up stipulations and requirements and regulations for athletes of all different sports, not just boxing. If you don't believe me, look it up. Look it up. This is the history of Australia, man. So that's why. So don't come at me with that bullshit. Don't come out with, oh, well, you wouldn't have a problem with it if Kambsos is going to America. He's been coming to America, bro. It don't matter. What are you talking about? We've already, as boxing fans and as Devin Haney fans, for the most part, have already come to terms and agreed, or accepted rather, that Devin's going to go to Australia to go get those belts, because that's what George Kambsos wanted. That were his demands after he beat Teofimo Lopez. He made that abundantly clear that when I take these straps, I'm trying to go back to Australia because I've been coming to America. Now I want to fight at home. We said, cool. Like, we don't like it, but all right. But then you proceed to make sure that in the contract, to even get that first fight, that the rematch is in Australia. You got to follow the trends. You got to understand the different movements, right? The things that happen. Not everything is coincidence. Not everything is bad luck. Like I said, man, call it what you want to call it. Call it the universe, right? Call it fate. Call it the will of the gods. I don't care what you call it, how you frame it, but things happen for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. So even though I'm frustrated and I'm disgusted at what I've had to read and digest, when all I want is a good, fair fight, man. That's all I want, man. Is that too much to ask? Just for a good fight? I want a good, undisputed lightweight championship bout. That's all I want. But see, you got to fuck with my emotions now. Right? But I'm going to live by my own beliefs. And my own belief is that everything happens for a reason. Imagine the saga. Imagine that this is just a prelude to what is to come. And what is to come is that Devin Haney is not only going to be victorious come fight night, but we're also going to give him his accolades and his flowers for all the trials and tribulations that he had to overcome to even come to Australia and do what he has to do, and then go in fight night and be victorious. I guess that's the way we got to try to look at it. We got to try to look at it in that perspective, that all this shit that has happened since day one, Devin Haney trying to get this damn fight, and all the trials and tribulations, all the hoops that he's had to jump through, where now we're in a position where Devin's in Australia now. He's made it. He's healthy. He's ready to knock out these next few weeks of his training, get accustomed to the weather out there, get his biological clock straightened out, and then we got to fight, man, June 5th. So let's be thankful for that. And let's say that all this shit that has happened for a reason, to make this victory even sweeter. Bruce Goes, what's good, bro? That's how I'm feeling right now. And quite frankly, man, it pisses me off, bro. It pisses me off because I don't want to be even talking about this. I was impressed by George and what he did with Teofimo Lopez. I was shocked. I got my prediction wrong, goddammit, and I don't like getting my predictions wrong. I thought Teofimo was going to knock his ass out. I said, damn, this George kid, all right, man, shit, okay. You got some balls. You got some skill. You did what you did, man. You came out here, you did your work. right? But see, man, we can't make this stuff up. We can't make it up. And people get so critical and they get all bent out of shape, right? These other channels out here, these trolls out here, right? These racists out here, they get all bent out of shape, get their feathers all ruffled up, get their panties in a bunch, talking about, oh, they seem to criticize only certain people. And they give Kambsos praise 1 minute and then the next minute they're tearing him down. I've seen the comments, man, and I've heard the videos. But we can't make this shit up, bro. I'm damn near having a fight party just for George Kambsos on my video, on my live stream when he beat Teofimo Lopez. We out here celebrating. We were here celebrating. Am I wrong? If I'm telling the truth, that if you were in this live when Teofimo Lopez lost his belts to George Kambsos, and we were celebrating, were we not? And if you were here and you were celebrating with me that victory, go ahead and hit the fire emoji. Let me know. Tell the people that I ain't lying. We were celebrating that shit, man. We said, damn, George, okay. And sure, a lot of it was to do with the fact that Teofimo was out there talking shit and being disrespectful to Devin and Bill Haney as well. Sure, that was part of it. But we gave George his flowers. We celebrated his victory. We congratulated him. So it's not like we didn't give him those accolades or that praise. It was George Kambsos himself who started doing some dumb shit. He knew damn good and well that the next man in line is Devin Haney. There's no secret to that. And I personally didn't really speak on that too much. I personally didn't speak too much on that about him trying to avoid Devin Haney. I let everything fall into place first because this is boxing. I never jump in the cart before the horse. So if you're talking about Divine Sense boxing, I never really got it. I never really roasted Kambsos for that personally. Other channels did. I didn't. Because I knew that the Lomachenko fight wasn't going to happen. I don't know why. I just knew it wasn't going to happen. It has nothing to do with the Russian-Ukraine shit. I just knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew that it was Devin Haney. And when everyone else was roasting Kambsos, calling him Kambozo and all this stuff, I was chilling. I was chilling. But you know the crazy thing is, though, right? As much as I was observing and chilling and be like, you know, hey, this fight's going to happen, I then, of course, get excited to be able to drop my prediction videos and talk about it, chop it up, make panels, man, and get people on here and discuss. I want to hear from people why they think Devin's going to win. I want to hear from people why they think Kambsos is going to win. That's what I love, man. That's what I love about this shit the most. I despise this shit right here. It's not me. It's not the way that I'm built myself personally and this channel. This dumb shit. Because that's exactly what it is. It's dumb shit. The contract is dumb shit. The things that came out of George's mouth is dumb shit. And the fact that Bill Haney can't go to Australia and board the plane with his son / fighter is dumb shit. Period. Now, I don't like talking about dumb shit. Right now, right? For me, it's May 20th, 2022. We got a couple weeks away before the fight happens. We should be on here talking about who's going to win this fight. That's what we should be talking about right now. But I just wanted to come on here and give you guys a different viewpoint and perspective and let you guys know about Australia, man. I've been there multiple times. I've got lots of friends from Australia. Um, well, I wouldn't consider all the people my friends. Some are acquaintances. I got a couple of friends from Australia, but um, I just have a different insight because I live around the world. And I just want to let you guys know that this is not just a coincidence. This is not just bad luck. If you're sitting there thinking, "Oh man, well, it's all good, man. Like there was a little mistake with the immigration." All right. Well, my question for you is, do you really understand Australian number one history? Not even like their country's history, but in recent history, the way that they've operated and have conducted themselves as a country. And it's not just Bill Haney. It is several athletes that they've attempted to keep out of the country for one reason or the other. Platt Boys, what's good, bro? Trick Box in the building, what's good? From a country that was created by criminals. That shit's crazy, man. That shit is crazy. Imagine we've all made mistakes, right? Most of us. Nobody's perfect. Some people in here are older than others, right? Some of us are in our 20s, some of them 30s, 40s. Maybe some of you all up in your 50s. I know Bruce probably got us all beat, right? But we've all made mistakes. And imagine having to pay for a mistake like either doing drugs or selling drugs and having to pay for that for the rest of your life. Even though that you're not in prison serving time, you having to pay for that shit for the rest of your life everywhere you go. Every time you apply for a job, that shit's on your record that at one point in time you either dealt drugs or took drugs. Literally treated like a fucking criminal. And I don't even got to get into how the drugs entered the projects and how all that shit started the drug dealing in the 70s and 80s and how all that a lot of us already know what it is, man. And if I go too further, I'll probably stop my live stream. But we know what time it is. But imagine that, right? Imagine having to pay for that for the rest of your life. They're more worried about you selling coke in 1992 than they're worried about some pedophile on the internet trying to track down little boys and girls and probably still getting away with the shit. I just mentioned on Drew Titan's live stream today about the shit that they're perpetuating in boxing and in sports and in our children's and our grandchildren's lives when it comes to this LGBTQ and gay community, and we forcing it down our throats and having my children, my own daughter, my own flesh and blood, asking me questions and questioning her own identity. They're more worried about a dude who sold cocaine or whatever it is, man, back in the 90s than they are trying to ruin and poison our children. That's what's going on around here, man. You know what I find ironic, man? Check this out. Check this out. You know how that side, right? That side. I'm gonna frame it like that. That side. The you know, before it was it's okay to be gay. Right? That's what it was before. Now it's cool to be gay. It's the new cool thing, right? It's trending to be gay or whatever. I don't even know how they frame this shit, but basically that's what it is. right? It's all about be yourself. You're not hurting nobody, right? You're not hurting nobody. Be yourself. Be open. Be able to express yourself. We should get married. We can adopt kids. We can do all these different things, right? And we want to make sure that the government allows us to do it, right? We want to make sure that we are accepted and all this other stuff, right? But the whole premise is that I'm not hurting nobody, so I can be how I want to be, and I can be whatever I want to be. How is that different if I want to smoke a joint? How is that different if I want to do a line of cocaine? How is that different if me and my boy right here, we want to make a transaction? I need some money. I got a little poppy feel going on right here, man. I got a little bit of coke on me, man. Shit, I'm just trying to survive out here. You want to buy a couple grams off me? It took us into 2022 to get states on board to legalize cannabis. When we got people serving time right now that were convicted in the 90s, maybe even before that, for marijuana / cannabis convictions, they're still serving time right now. That's fact. Now my question is, now you make it legal. Now you make it legal for cannabis. Great. Well, not every state. I mean, more and more states are coming on board, right? What about all those people that are still locked up for marijuana charges? Are they going to get pardoned now? Are they going to get released? Are they going to get their life back? Because this shit should have been done. Like it should have never. First off, it should have never. Cannabis especially should have never been a criminal offense, and you should have never been arrested for it, charged with it, none of that shit. Oh, but now we woke up now, right? When Portugal's had marijuana legal since like the 80s or even before that. They've had it legal. You know what they do in Portugal? Basically, people just, they be going into clubs and taking MDMA, cocaine, whatever, right? Pretty much everything's legal. No, everyone, just turns a blind eye to it as far as the authorities are concerned in Portugal. And if you got a drug abuse problem, they have a system set up to where you can get help. They don't put you in prison. They don't lock you in a cage. They get you help. And I don't see people I don't hear in the news about Portuguese people running around in the streets high on cocaine, killing each other, acting like fools or whatever the case is. You don't hear that shit. I've been there. People are mad chill in Portugal. Countries with the strictest gun laws. There's the crazy shit right here, right? I'm going to get political with this shit. Fuck it. I don't care. Countries with the strictest gun laws and countries with the strictest drug laws as well seem to have the highest incarceration rates and more violence and crime. And if you want to throw religion in there, you can do that too. And it's not even about drugs or guns or religion. It's about one simple word: control. That's all it is. That's all it is. Human civilizations, ancient civilizations, have been worshiping many different gods for centuries. Nobody gave a shit. Right? Human civilizations, ancient civilizations have been taking drugs for centuries. Nobody gave a shit. Why? Because they didn't have a controlling mechanism through their society. It's all one word, man. Control. So if you were to take out countries that have gun control and drugs control and religious control and just push that to the side and say countries with the most control have the most violence. Look at China. China right now, still right now, May in 2022, they're beating you up in the streets if you don't wear a mask. They drag you out of your homes if you don't go on the app and let them know that you've taken an ATK test. Control. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. And some of the most free and prosperous places that I've been to, the most free and you want to talk about free and prosperous, right? The crazy thing is, and what the difference is that the LGBT community, and I hate to throw everybody into this, right? If you happen to be a part of this community or you support the community, I hate to throw everybody into the same basket. In general, I hate to do it. But I have to say this, right? In the States, the LGBT community, right? This major push for acceptance. You can go to other places in the world right now where there is no push. Everybody knows that it exists and nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. You see it, you keep it moving. Right? A lot of countries in Asia are like that. Countries in South America are like that. Scandinavia is like that. There's other island countries in the Pacific that are like that. You want to talk about acceptance and freedom to be who you are? Then just be it then. Just be it. Nobody cares. Why are you trying to force people to accept and have these terminologies and these gender roles and all this craziness, man? I've been to countries where I've literally been to countries and I've been to places in these countries where you can go online or you can go to a local bar, you'll be chilling, somebody come up to you, right? And be like, "Oh, where are you from?" "I'm from the States." "Cool, this and that and the third." Cool. Like, and what do you like? "Oh, are you here for business, pleasure, what?" Right? "Oh, I'm here hanging out. I'm on holiday." "Cool. Like, you want to have a good time?" Yeah. Roll up, having fucking orgies out in front of a beach house and shit. People smoking, doing cocaine, popping MDMA, having a great time, living life. All kinds of shit happen behind the scenes, right? You just keep it moving. You know what you like, and that's the only thing you care about, and there's plenty of it. What other people do, it doesn't matter. Right? But there's no sense of like acceptance or control or shoving things down our throats. So I apologize going off on a tangent. And this is why, man. This is why I desperately need to get this other podcast popping. So I can talk about these topics more openly and without having to revert back to the topic at hand and just focus on these different topics, man. I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed to be able to travel and to see what I've seen and come into contact with many different walks of life and philosophies and what have you. I pretty much have ate dinner with or stayed in the same house with pretty much every modern day religion that you can possibly think of, from Buddhists to Muslims to Christians to Sikhs to Jews, you name it. Like I've come into contact and I've been around all of it. And I'm blessed to be able to think outside the box and really understand the true essence of what freedom and living prosperous really actually means. It's not that complicated, people. It's not. In America, we make it complicated. Land of the free and home of the brave. Well, what the fuck does that mean? Because y'all put all these different labels on it. And, well, this is how you get freedom. This is how, if you want freedom, this is what you got to do. You got to accept this and you got to accept that. And you got to go this way and you got to go that way. You got to talk to that person. Oh, you free, right? Oh, yeah, but you got to wake up in the morning, put on your suit and tie and smile at the man. You know, the man. Yeah, not a man, not a white man, not a black man, not a Hispanic man, but the man. You got to smile on his face every day you wake up in the morning to go to work. But you free, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to say this one last thing. And then I need you guys to go over and subscribe to the new podcast because I'm going to get deep with it over there. I'm going to say this one last thing. And then I'm going to wrap it up about this Devin Haney situation, give some final thoughts. The fact that I can walk out of this door any given moment, whenever I want, however I want, and go wherever the hell I want to go and do whatever the hell I want to do. With no restrictions, no constraints, no, oh, well, if I do that, this is going to happen. The fact that I can do that gives me great comfort. And if you don't have that in your life, you need to get it. You need to get it. Nothing should be able to hold you down, hold you back, set you back. If you want freedom, man, it's there. It's right in front of you. Reach out and take it. A lot of people ask me, why are you living out there, bro? What you doing out there? I can write a book on it. Facts. I can write a book on it. On why, what, where, and how, and all the shit that I've seen. I can write a book on it. And I'm not even 40 yet. But I made that decision very young. And thank you to the military for waking me up. Thank you to the military for really waking me up. So, I'm going to drop the link to the other channel. And then in the meantime, man, I'm going to closing thoughts. I think, and although I'm upset about what has happened, and Bill Haney wasn't able to board the plane with his dad, who also happens to be his trainer, I think that Devin has been prepared for this. And Devin is focused. He's got friends and family around him who can continue to support him and continue his training. And I still have faith and I have confidence that he's going to perform at a high level come June 5th. But I want people to be prepared. I want people to be alert. I want people to be awakened. that if Devin Haney comes short, fight night, you have to consider all these things. I'm not saying make excuses. I'm not saying that we're going to come up here and nitpick, especially if George performs well, then he performs well. If Devin Haney looks terrible, or he came up short, or he got caught, or whatever the case is, right? But I want you guys to be alert and remember all of it. And also remember that the rematch is in Australia once again. Now, of course, with all that being said, and I said a lot today, I think this is the worst that it can get. I think they can't get much worse than this. I think that Bill not being able to go, it can't get much worse than this. As long as Devin stays healthy, continues his training, we can be optimistic and hopeful that Bill can sort out his visa, end up back there to be there for the fight. If he doesn't, it is what it is. Devin is ready for this. He was built for this. And that's the type of mindset that we need to have, right? But yeah. We have to be alert and aware of these type of things, man. But look, now that this has happened, I'm glad that I was actually going to, if you guys don't know, I was mentioned earlier, I've already made my prediction video of David Benavidez and David Lemieux. Go check it out if you haven't yet. Hit that like button on the video for me. But I was actually going to record videos back to back. And the next one was going to be, actually, I take that back. I was going to do 3 videos today. It was going to be that one, and then it was going to be Tank and Rolly, and then it was going to be Haney and Kambsos. But I hit the pause button because I wanted to get this live out, and I wanted to give you guys some food for thought and let you guys know that this is not just a coincidence, in my opinion. This is not just bad luck, in my opinion. This fight was planned during the height, and the contract was signed during the height of the most strict guidelines and regulations in Australia during the pandemic that was still going on in Australia at that time. It was all about convenience. And I don't think anybody can convince me otherwise. But I've now went live. I've told you guys the information. So we put our hard hats back on. We go back to work. Start dropping these prediction videos out there, man. And if you guys haven't hit the notification bell, make sure you do that, man. Because sometimes I upload videos because of the times difference, right? I upload videos when it's like, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning for you guys. So when you come on YouTube in the morning to check your subscribers, you may not see it. You know what I mean? So hitting that notification bell will keep you guys from missing these fight predictions that I drop. And I typically keep it under 10 minutes. All my prediction videos are typically under 10 minutes. So it doesn't take a lot of time. Y'all can tune in, hear what I have to say about the fight, hear about my prediction. And that's cool, man, because then it prepares you mentally. So when you enter my live streams during the fight, you already know what my prediction is, right? You already know my thoughts about the fight. So we can get straight up into it and get the commentary and score the fight. So make sure y'all do that. And the link that's in the chat right now is for my other podcast, which I do plan to put it on Spotify as well. I will be on YouTube. I will be on Spotify. I will also probably be on Apple Podcasts. And I'm telling you right now, the potential of that podcast is probably, once I set my feet down and really put the work in, I'm telling you, it's going to be an even bigger channel than this one. The shit that I got planned for that podcast, man, I'm telling you right now, the stuff that I got planned for that podcast, the things that I'm going to talk about, it's going to flip people's minds backwards. People are going to be doing mental gymnastics, man. I'm telling you. So make sure y'all click that link, subscribe to that channel. And hopefully I want to get up to 500 subscribers before I even drop my very, very first real, volume 1 episode, whatever you want to call it, of that channel. So help get the word out. I'll continue to promote it and get those 500 subscribers so we kick it off strong. But look, man, I appreciate everyone who's come in today. I know a lot of people are probably listening when they're at work or driving down the road or doing other things. So I know you can't comment as much as you would like to. But nonetheless, man, I appreciate you tuning in. And if you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and do that. Get the likes up. Let them know what we've been talking about in here. Once this video is uploaded, it's going to come across to some people that are probably not going to like what I've been saying. But when have I ever cared about that? Never. It's your boy Devin, man. I appreciate every one of you guys, man. Stay strong, stay positive. And at any point in time, if you ever want to reach out, ask any questions about anything that I talked about today, specifically about, traveling, going to places, business ventures, making money, whatever it is, holler at your boy, man. Hit me up on the IG. If you don't follow me, Divine Sense Boxing. And y'all family to me, man. So just send me a message and I'll make sure I'll get back to you, man. Y'all stay up. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.